Hi everyone, this is Nick Hansen with PSG Washington, and we are going to be going through the employee benefits guide for the SeaCast family of companies for the upcoming July 1 renewal. We're going to do this at a pretty high level. Won't spend a ton of time on this. I know a lot of you have gone through it before, but we just want to kind of give you a refresher of what you got. And then if you've got kind of more detailed questions, you can, reach out to me, Dave, Misty, and we can, get you what you need. So a couple things just kind of to point out. One is open enrollment is going to start June 1st. You're going to run through the 10th. So Friday the 10th is going to be the last day that's open. If you are making no changes, you don't have to do anything. If you're happy with how you're enrolled, you want to leave it there. This is a passive enrollment, so you won't have to sign anything or fill any forms. Another thing to point out and just remind everybody of is the spouse domestic partner rule with this plan. If your spouse or domestic partner has coverage at their employer, they're not eligible for this plan. Now, there's no form you have to sign. It really is kind of an honor system thing. But where you could get yourself in trouble is if you put a spouse on that maybe isn't eligible, they have a large claim. The stop loss carrier is going to audit that claim. And if they find that the person wasn't eligible, they're not going to pay the claim and they're going to send you the bill. So we don't want that to happen. So if that person's not eligible, do yourself a favor, get them on that other plan. Maybe the most important piece of this plan is AIM. And you've probably heard us say, call the nurse, call the nurse, call the nurse. Really anything short of a 911 call, we want you calling these guys. It's a team with only nurses and doctors on the other end. And they do a couple things for us. They do all the pre-authorizations. So if you're scheduled for surgery, your doctor is going to have to get that authorized by the insurance plan. AIM is doing those. Again, the other piece is the medical care management. So what we want with that is if you're going in for a surgery or you're going to be scheduled to have an MRI, whatever it may be, we want you to call them because they've got a couple things they can help us with. One, they have access to quality scores of surgeons that you're not going to be able to just find on the internet. So they're going to know before you even go into surgery whether or not the surgeon that's performing your surgery is good. And this isn't a Yelp review kind of word of mouth thing. This is data that the hospitals are forced to submit to the government. And what happens is there's companies out there that take that data and they form a quality score for these surgeons. So at the very least, you're going to know that the person you're seeing is really good at what they do, but you'd be amazed how many times we run quality scores on a couple different surgeons at the same hospital or clinic, and one's a 15 out of 100 and the other's a 90 out of 100. Just because it's a well-known clinic or hospital doesn't mean that the people working there are always top notch. So we want to make sure that you're getting taken care of there. With something like a MRI, you may be scheduled to have one in a hospital setting. They can help you to go do it out of a hospital setting. It's the same machine, but it can save you money. And on the topic of them, helping you, that first net line, the guided network, what happens there is if you were to call, let's say you're having a surgery and you call AIM because you want to make sure that it's all authorized and that when you show up the day of surgery, they're not going to send you back home because they're not ready to go. If you were to call them and say, hey, I'm going to surgery to see this surgeon and here's the date, and they'll walk you through it. They'll actually get you that quality score. And often what will happen is we'll find out that the surgeon doing the surgery is a low quality score. And if they have another option where they can say, look, this doctor is X miles away from you, but their quality score is 93 out of 100 versus the one you're going to see is 30 out of 100, you have that option. We're ready to authorize it at your surgery center, but if you want to take our guidance, we will waive your deductible and we'll waive your out-of-pocket maximum. So now you get two things. One, you have the option to get a higher quality of surgeon performing the surgery on you. And two, you don't have to pay for anything. So we want you to engage with them. Another thing would be like talking about MRIs. MRIs in a hospital are just way more expensive than they are at a standalone facility. And those are, deductible and co-insurance type of bills. So they could guide you and find you a facility that's close and get you all signed up so that you don't have to pay for the MRI. So that could be free to you as well. So again, anything short of a 911 call, we want you calling AIM. They know our plan inside and out, and they're there to help you. They are looking at quality scores. They want to give you the highest level of care possible. That's their only job. If you don't do guided network, the plan has a $5,000 deductible. As you know, though, there's an HRA in place. So really, you're only on the hook for the first $1,500. Then the plan's going to pay $3,500 of that $5,000 deductible. And then there's another $1,850. So your total out-of-pocket maximum in worst case scenario is $3,350. Remember, everything that's a copay, whether it be office visit or prescription drugs, it's building towards that out-of-pocket maximum. So, your out-of-pocket max is, frankly, it's as low as any group we work with. It's a great plan that you guys have in place. Real quick on the network, we're still in the First Choice network. It's the biggest network in the country. Very rarely do we run into something where a doctor says, I'm not on this network. If they do, and they say it's going to be on a network, don't freak out. We've got options that we can help get you kind of into a plug and play network that becomes in network. So, big thing is with these plans is if someone tells you something you don't like or it doesn't sound right, please reach out to us. There's a human element to this that, sometimes somebody doesn't understand how the plan's written, or, they're new to a doctor's office or whatever it may be, but, let us get involved and we can usually take care of it for you. So again, the HRA, it's a $1,500 HRA. So you pay the first $1,500 of that $5,000 deductible. The plan will pay the next $3,500. If you have dependents on the plan, you get an extra $2,000 max to be spread between family members. Big thing to point out too is I know the medical, all the benefits plans renew July 1st, but the HRA is a calendar year. So January 1 to December 31. So we're just going to keep going as if, nothing has happened with as far as the HRA goes. And then once the end of the year comes, you have until March 31st to submit any claims. I would suggest you submit stuff as they come. And all CAS needs, CAS is the third-party administrator that runs the plan. All they need is you to submit a copy of your explanation of benefits. Once they get that, they will either send you the debit. If you don't already have it, they'll send you the debit card that's going to be activated with the amount of money above $1,500 that you've spent, and you'll be able to pay off the extra part of that bill using that debit card. Vision is included with the medical plan. So however you enrolled in the medical plan, Vision's that's gonna be how you enroll in the Vision. Vision's pretty straightforward. There's no network. You pay $10 for an exam every year. You can get lenses for free, $130 allowance for frames and contacts. But very, very straightforward. Go wherever you want. If you go somewhere and they don't want to bill the insurance, you're more than welcome to pay it and then just get reimbursed through the plan. We can help you with that if that ever comes up, but you can go wherever you want. Dental is also open network. We do plug in the Aetna network just to get some discounts. If your doctor's in network with Aetna, you might, pay less for a cleaning or something like that. But pretty straightforward, $50 deductible, $2,000 annual benefit maximum per person. You go get your teeth clean, preventive stuff, deductibles waived, you're not paying anything. Basic care, which is going to be the fillings and stuff like that. You pay the $50 and then you'll pay 20%. Plan will pay 80% of whatever that costs. Major care is, the crowns and stuff like that. Deductible, then 50%. No orthodontia. But again, open network, you can go wherever you want. If you have issues with a provider, pay it. We can get you reimbursed. And again, with AIM, they can help if you've got questions. They can help you find a doctor that's a network. They can, whatever you may need. So life insurance, the first $20,000 of life insurance, the company is paying for every employee. So that is no cost to you. But you also have the option to do voluntary life. If you're new to the plan, you can do the voluntary life with up to $500,000. with a guaranteed issue amount of 150,000, which means you don't have to answer any questions. So anything above 150,000 to 500,000, it's a one-page sheet. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, most people are going to get through it without any underwriting issues, but they're not taking blood or anything like that. If you've gone through the plan renewals before, so you're not a new employee, and you didn't do voluntary life, and you want to do it now, you can still do it, but you're going to have to answer the explanation of, or the evidence of insurability forms. So voluntary short-term and long-term disability, these are plans that you would pay on your own. And they're kind of two different things. The short-term disability is basically, covers you while you're out of work for a short amount of time. After 2 weeks, plan's going to pay you 60% of your weekly earnings up to a max of $1,000 per week, and they'll do that for 11 weeks. Long-term is if you're out of work for 90 days, it's going to pay 60% of your monthly earnings to a maximum of $5,000 per month, and that can go for quite a while, up to 5 years. Accident insurance, again, this is a voluntary plan, so the company is not paying for it. There's a big list of what this covers. So if you are interested in this, you're going to want to go on the ADP website, and you'll have a breakdown. But it's kind of an Aflac type plan where if you break your arm, there's a payment. They're just going to cut you a check. If you cut off a finger, they're going to cut you a check for a certain amount. So if this is something you're interested in, take a look. But it covers a wide array of different injuries or treatments that could happen to you. And it's like I said, you just file the claim, they're going to write you the check. They're not making you pay for your deductible with it. It's however you want that money to be used. Critical illness, much like the accident, is going to pay a flat amount, but it's more for big ticket items. If you get diagnosed with cancer, you have a heart attack, and you pick what limit you want it to be. It can be $5,000 all the way up to $20,000. So the costs are going to vary based on what amount you pick. But again, if you pick the $20,000 amount and you're diagnosed with cancer, file the claim, they're going to write you a check for that. So it's pretty straightforward stuff, but more info is going to be on the enrollment page on ADP if you have questions. One thing Guardian also offers us is will prep services. So, at no cost to you, you can have, a living will written up. There's a resource library, stuff about estate taxes, but just no reason not have a living will set up. This is free to you. It's just part of our plan. Information on how to get that set up is on this page as well. The Employee Assistance Program, this is also through Guardian, and it's going to give you a few things. You can have unlimited telephone conversations with a counselor 24/7. You get up to 3 in-person sessions at no cost. And then they've got a vast library of articles and just resources on a lot of different types of topics that might be of interest to you. Again, no cost to you. This is a part of the plan. Information on how to access it is on this page. So real quick, here's a look at the costs. If you've got your packets from previous years, you're going to see this is all the exact same as what it was. No changes whatsoever. Not many groups can say that they haven't changed the rates in 4 years. So you guys are doing great. We implemented stuff like AIM and a few years ago with this in mind, and because you guys are making the phone calls and the plan's running the way we hoped it would. So no changes in costs. This is the ADP pages. I won't spend a whole lot of time here, but if you are going to go on and make some changes, here's a little breakdown of what you're going to need to do or what it's going to look like. But it's pretty straightforward stuff. If you have issues with logging in, Dave or Misty can help you with that. And last but not least, this is the contact information for the plan. Every piece that you could want to talk to, whether it be AIM, CAS, the TPA, Guardian. We've got information on your 401k. Got Dave and Misty's information, our information, contact information on the networks. So anybody you need to get a hold of, it's going to be on here. Like I said, as far as I'm concerned, if you have issues, you can come straight to me. You know, you don't have to, if you want to go bug Dave or Misty, feel free to give us a call. We're happy to help. But otherwise, you know, if you have any questions outside of this, don't hesitate to ask. And, you know, I appreciate you guys doing what's required as far as the plan goes. You know, it's running great, and, you know, it's because of you guys, you know, listening to us and calling AIM and doing all the right things. So let's keep it up, and let's, you know, have a great year.